Howdy friends, how's it going? Dave Peterson here, davesguitarplanet.com. Today we're going to talk about suspended 4 chords and suspended 2 chords, different ways to call these things. A suspended 2 chord, some people call it a suspended 9 or an add 9 chord. Anyway, I only expect you to know a few open chords. This is going to be basically for beginners or advanced beginners. Back in the 60s and even nowadays, there's a lot of folk music still that uses suspended chords, and it's something I've always liked. Very easy little embellishment to add onto your open chords. So if we take a look at the suspended 4 chord, or Sus4, or just a sus chord, sometimes it's called. If we take a look at a D chord, this is the common D chord down here by the nut, the open D. And you might know that this is the 3rd of the chord. Major chords are made of a root, a 3rd, and a 5th. So if here's a D, that's the root of this chord. 1, 2, 3, that's the 3rd of the scale. And this is a 5th of the scale. Anyway, to make a suspended 4 chord, you take the 3 and you replace it with a 4, which is just 1 fret up. So you can't play the 3 and the 4 at the same time, otherwise you'd get something real dissonant sounding. So you just flop your little finger down on the 3rd fret of the top E string. You don't have to remove your 2nd finger that's on the 2nd fret. So here's your D chord, and then you put your little finger down on the 3rd fret, and so it has what we call a suspended sound. It kind of sounds hanging up in the air. And then when you remove it again, we call that resolving the chord. So suspended, resolve, bam, 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 bam. You've heard it a million times. And then if you take the 3 and you remove your 2nd finger, then you end up with this. And some people call it a suspended 2 or a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A 2 and a 9 are kind of the same in music theory. So some people call it an add 9 chord or suspended 9. But we're going to call it a suspended 2, I guess. So when you're playing a tune and you end up camping out on a D chord, these are nice little embellishments to throw in, and so it might sound something like this. Suspended 4, back to D, suspended 9 or 2. And you can just kind of mix them up. D, 9, 4, D. So pretty easy thing to do, and can add a little bit of variety to your playing. The same idea, you can apply it to an A chord. So here's an A note on the 2nd fret of the G string, and 1, 2, 3, the 3rd of the chord is on the 2nd fret of the B string. So if you bring that up 1 fret to this D note, that would be the 4th of an A chord. Here's A, and now you can use your little finger and just leave your 3rd finger where it is, because you'll need it when you resolve it. So suspended, resolve, bam, bam. And then to make the suspended 9 or 2, whatever you want to call it, you can just remove your 3rd finger, leaving the B string open, which gives you that. So again, if you're playing a song and you're camping out on an A chord for a while, you can try some of these little embellishments. 9, 4, 3. You've heard it a million times in old Beatles songs and songs by the Byrds, and people nowadays are doing it too. So if we just move down to an E chord, now the third is on the G string, and so the fourth of an E scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, would be on the second fret of the G string. So again, you don't have to change your E shape, but just flop your little finger on the second fret of the G, and that gives you E suspended 4 or E sus, and then resolve. Peaceful Easy Feelin' by the Eagles, I believe, features that Sus4 and resolve. Now the E, we can't take this third down 2 frets to a 2 or a 9. That would be this note. So you can't really do the same thing as you were doing in A. In A you had A, Sus2, Sus4, and D, Sus4, Sus2. But E, you can only do Sus4 and resolve. Okay, there's one more open chord that you can add a Sus4 to, and that would be a G chord. Some people play a G chord like this, with your second finger on the bottom E string on the 3rd fret, first finger, 2nd fret of A, and then 3 open strings, and then 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of top E. That's one way to do it, but the way I prefer to do it is to use this fingering, 3rd finger on the bottom G note there, the 3rd fret, 2nd finger on this B note on the A string, and little finger up on the top G note. The reason I like that one is it leaves my first finger open to do this. Okay, so where your second finger is, that's a third of the chord. So when you do suspended G like this, you don't want to play the A string. So just let the fatty part of your 3rd finger touch the A so that it mutes it. So to just play a G like that, see, I'm not even using the A string, just E, D, G, B, and E strings. And that way you can take this third and then bring it up a half step or 1 fret to a 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because if you played this third and this 4, that wouldn't work. That's a real dissonant sound. So you just want to mute the A string with the fatty part of your finger. So there's another open chord that you can suspend. All right, just a little quick lesson on adding suspended 4s and suspended 2s or 9s or whatever you want to call it. Hope you got something out of it. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.